Hey, so I want to talk to you today about fear. Um, you know, for starters, I think that God uses our children to teach us about life and also to learn more about ourselves. And I think He's done just that with my Luciano, which you may hear him here. He's right next to me. Um, but the other day, Luciano's climbing up on he grabs a chair and he starts climbing up on the kitchen counter and trying to play with the sink. And my first instinct was to stop him because I was afraid. I was afraid that at any moment he could fall and get hurt. And, I didn't want my son to get hurt. But I quickly changed that thinking because I remembered my brother-in-law telling me a few years back when I worked at a daycare and I was the teacher for 2-year-olds. I remember my brother-in-law telling me, twos are just curious. They call them terrible twos, but really it's curious twos. They're just curious. Everything they do is out of curiosity. They want to know what the result is. They want to know what things do when you move them, when you push buttons. It's all about curiosity. And so at that moment, I stopped myself from reacting out of fear and telling my son to get down. So instead, I quietly stood close to him and try to make sure he didn't notice me trying to stop him. But I just watched him climb up on the sink and figure things out. And it was the coolest thing because I watched my son be independent. And I also watched him be fearless and bold and determined and persistent because he kept trying to climb up the side of the chair and he couldn't and he couldn't. And then finally he did it. And he didn't stop and ask for help. He was determined and there was no stopping him. And so that day I learned from my son to have childlike faith. And I learned from him what that actually looks like and what that means. So I want to share that with you today. I want you to challenge yourself to have that childlike faith and that childlike fearless attitude to just approach your tasks and approach your goals and approach your life as an adventure where you are simply curious and therefore you are fearless. And I have a theory that my son, I think had I not been there, I don't know that he would have been so bold and so comfortable to move things around and to climb up there on his own. But because I was there, because his mom was there, one of his parents was there, he was comfortable enough to be brave and to be bold. And I think we can find that same comfort knowing that God is with us and knowing that He will catch us and that He is watching us all the time. And that if we're ever in danger, He will step in at the right time. Because I know I love my son. And had he been in a point where he was dangerous, or he was in a dangerous point, I would have stepped in. But because I knew he was safe and I was close enough, I allowed him to explore. I allowed him to be curious. And he totally did it. He climbed up and he climbed right back down. So I just want to share that with you today, and I want you to challenge yourself to be bold and fearless and have childlike faith today, and that childlike fearlessness that we all wish we had. Have that today. Learn from my son and learn from your children and let them be curious, and you be curious too. I hope you're having a great day, and I hope you make this week a fearless week where you are not allowing fear to control you, but instead you're using fear as an indicator to do that task, because fear does not come from God. Fear comes from the enemy. So if you are afraid to do something, do it, because that's an indicator that that's what you need to be doing. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.